everybody and welcome to my channel where we play chess every day. So yeah, I've been playing English recently, like I've been playing it as my main opening and I think I'm getting better and better at it. So if I take, he has center control, and if I go here, then he has to give up a central pawn for my side pawn, and now his knight cannot develop really. This I'm not worried about because I can I? I cannot jump into the middle because then if this pawn comes and attacks me, my knight is actually trapped, so I don't mind going here because if he pushes his pawn, I guess I can go back and kind of rotate my knight. So it's not the end of the world. I definitely need to dedicate like one day to grinding Fury, so my openings will be perfect, and I'm not just playing moves that look kind of nice. So obviously I cannot develop because then he pushes his e-pawn, so how about I will push this pawn or this pawn maybe, offering the trade, but then if he pushes and God forbid like stabilizes those pawns, it's going to be really annoying. So let's push this pawn and open up my bishop. So he castles. I might go here, even though I'm blocking my own bishop. I close up this whole position, and I'm a lot safer because now I cannot really develop my knight because of this, and if he takes en passant, then I just develop my bishop, right? I will also need to get this knight into the game somehow. I can definitely later rotate it like this, but then this pawn is so annoying. Let's develop this knight. It's kind of an obvious move. Okay, now I'm thinking of going for something like this, but then after check he kind of wins this trade because I trade a bishop for a knight, and this bishop is looks very promising, so I'm going to castle, threatening to play this move because if I eliminate this knight, I can then push my pawns and make some space for my knight. So let's castle. He simply develops his bishop, and now I'm thinking of going for this move because if you even sacrifice your knight, I can take and be up a piece because this doesn't work since I just take. So let's go here. And again, I'm kind of planning on getting rid of this pawn, or at least moving my pawn structure up one square because I want my knight to go here. Because it's going to be really solid. In the center of the board, maybe I will force out my opponent to give up his bishop for a knight, which would be kind of ideal. I also have some ideas with my knight and my queen, but obviously I cannot... Well, I cannot do anything right now. But it'll be always a possibility. My bishop is also kind of weak. So I might try to maybe place my knight here, wait for him to move his bishop. and then try to trade it off. But if he goes here, then he can just avoid it completely. I see that this square has opened up, but that doesn't really give me anything. I could definitely push this pawn. And then after he moves, I can support the pawn with my rook. But then firstly I have to trade off this knight, because then this pawn would be hanging. So what I'm thinking is takes. I push this pawn. Okay, he can actually move his bishop here, and after I go here, he wins a pawn. That wasn't the smartest trade. But maybe the knights are going to be better in a closed position like this. And this is also a capture, but I think it's the incorrect one, because now I can kind of trap your bishop. But if I go here and he pushes this pawn twice, then he has to give up a pawn, and then I have a passed pawn, right? Or maybe I can play something like rook here, trying to trap the bishop. Because the reason why it's not trapped, because if he pushes this pawn twice, but then this en passant looks kind of nice. Yeah, let's go for it. I'm pretty sure this was a very solid line as well, but then he can just move his bishop away. And then when the smoke clears, he has a very strong bishop. And I don't really have anything. So here I definitely have to take en passant, because otherwise I will hang everything. Now I might try to scare him. But what? Why is he trapping his bishop in? I don't understand, to be honest. If this, then I have this knight trade. Oh, but then he takes my pawn. But then I take his pawn as well. I genuinely don't understand. Let's move my queen up, with the idea of pushing here, and then if he goes for this, I can immediately recapture. And then after he takes, for example, with his queen, I can start pressuring this pawn. My knight can always jump here, or take this pawn actually. Hold up, this pawn is unprotected. For how long could have I taken this pawn? From this trade, right? And I can still take it. Okay, now I'm thinking let's push this pawn. And after he moves his rook, let's take on here maybe? Yeah, this looks very nice. And this pawn will be still hanging, so he will have to bring out his rook. Or protect it with the knight. This is a very nice move, to be honest. So I should take, right, protecting this pawn and hitting this bishop. And what am I threatening? I guess I can always push this pawn and after takes, but then he can escape over there. And I'm kind of scared that he cannot pin my... He cannot pin my knight to the queen because the pawn is protecting this square. Which is crazy. I can definitely get rid of his bishop pair, but then those pawns are kind of like a wall. Hold up, I can take this free pawn. And then if he moves his bishop to an incorrect square like here, then I can jump in and fork this queen and the rook. Oh, and I hung my rook. I hung my rook, but I'm threatening to take this, forking. But what if he just recaptures? I feel like this. I messed up. But I could go for something like, okay, so he doesn't take. I think he got kind of scared. But can't I just fork this queen and this rook? Hold up. I can sacrifice this rook completely. Going for this. Like, let's think about it. I go here, and then I'm hitting this and this. This knight is also not under attack, and it's constantly protecting this, so I don't care about this rook. I'm going to win your rook, and we're going to be equal on material. Oh, look at this, this is so tricky. I can take here, and if you recapture, you cannot take this rook. But then he takes that. I can also take on here because takes. I feel like I'm up here. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm positive that I'm better here. You have to take because your queen is under attack. And then I can take this rook because it's free, because then this bishop is pinned to this queen, right? So you cannot take because then you lose your queen. Wait a minute, he can take with the pawn. But now I can take here, removing the defense of this bishop, so the queen is the only one defending it. Okay, do I take the rook or do I take the pawn? Because this pawn you still cannot take. And then I can go for something like this, putting infinite pressure on this. Oh boy, I have a minute left on the clock. I have to play fast. This is solid. But let's go here, threatening to take this, and if you take this, then I will win a rook and simplify the position. I am also threatening to take this pawn. So, with a fork. So this is hanging. This is hanging. And if you move this bishop, that is hanging. So this is kind of smart, but now I attack this. This is so stressful. Let's go here because you still cannot move this bishop. I guess I can rotate my knight over here. Damn, I'm so low on time. Okay, let's go for this. And after he moves his bishop, I'm just going to slide my queen over, like, immediately. Okay, so now this is a threat because I'm low on time. This is hanging, and this technically is hanging because if I were black and my opponent had 34 seconds, I wouldn't trade the rooks. I definitely wouldn't go for something like this. I'm up so much material, but in pawns. Okay, 30 seconds. I don't think I can make this, games. Oh my god, Bro, I'm under time pressure, not you. Come on. He just hung his bishop. Okay, let's trade, simplify. Now I will go here. Threatening to trade off the queens and also preparing for this pawn advancement. Let's go here. This is so scary. Oh my god, we managed to win this. Oh my god. This game was really crazy. I can't believe I managed to win this on under time pressure like this. I guess if my opponent haven't traded the rooks right in this position, I definitely wouldn't take. I would consider something like moving this rook here, preparing this pawn push, or maybe even here. Like not letting me trade everything off, or even not moving anything here. And just bringing your queen closer, right? Oh my god, this was definitely a clutch game. And this was your daily chess video for today. And I will see you tomorrow, getting better every day.